Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Welcome to the round 2 match preview. It's weird doing a match preview on a Tuesday, but it's also very exciting because we have a Thursday night game. It is against the reigning premiers Collingwood, and it's Spud's game. A match for mental health. Amazing setting to have such an amazing cause, and it's a huge night for the football club. We're playing a team that's 0-2, surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly. I did tip against them both times, so thank you, Collingwood. But they're 0-2. They've got a lot of pressure. They want to bounce back, and at the same time, we probably let one slip on the weekend. We did show a little bit, and I think based on what I saw from Collingwood and what I saw from us, there are parts of their game that hopefully we'll be able to take advantage of and give us our best chance of winning the game. Obviously, let's quickly talk about the potential ins and outs. So the team's live show will be tomorrow night. Jaden will run that and cover the teams when announced. But based on what I've heard today, Jack Sinclair looking very likely, just needs to go through his fitness test, and if he passes that, he's in. Dan Butler, the same, although I think Dan Butler's going to go to the VFL and have a run there before he gets introduced to AFL. And then obviously Liam Stocker off the back of the Dangerfield knee to the back, same as Sinks. If he gets through his fitness test, gets through training, I believe last session will be tomorrow, then he's in. And to be honest, that brings me to my first major point of the game, is that if we go into this game without a Jimmy Webster, without a Liam Stocker, we're in trouble. So we need Stocker to get through his fitness test, just because Collingwood don't play tall. They love the ground ball. They kick a lot of goals with their smalls, and especially now, obviously, they've got Bobby Hill, and then they've got Lachie Schultz, who they've introduced, two very, very good smalls. I would be a little bit nervous going into this game with no real designated back pocket player, and I think Liam Stocker is a great fit for either matchup. I don't know who the alternative would genuinely be if we didn't have Liam Stocker turn up. Do you put Ronnie Burns back? Does Sinks go back and play a defensive role? I don't think so. You want him in the midfield. Riley Bonner and Naz, I think on the weekend they showed that they still are, learning the defensive side of the game, and their attacking side is great, but one-on-one, they're probably not great matchups for those two players. So it's going to be very important the next 24 hours to see who gets through training and who doesn't. I think from a Collingwood perspective, they would be worried about our leg speed. I mean, Collingwood over the last 24 months, I would say, have probably been one of the quicker teams in terms of ball movement, particularly out of their back half. Their rebound to score over the last 2 years has been absolutely astounding, and that's something that they've lost this year. They've lost that massively. I think there was a period last week against the Swans where they had 13 rebound 50s and they didn't translate into an inside 50, let alone a score. So that is massive for them. And I think considering the fact that we play a bit of a similar style to the Sydney Swans and to the Giants in terms of we want to move the ball quick, particularly this year, less so last year, but particularly this year, our approach is to get the ball on the outside as quickly as possible and rebound quickly, considering we've got now Naz at our disposal with Bonner and hopefully a fit and firing Sinks returning. That's probably not the ideal matchup for Collingwood. I think that at the moment, it looks like they're getting drawn into the contest a little bit too much, and they're not doing what they did last year, which was just a complete team effort. I think it's been isolated a little bit more. There's too many one-on-ones for their liking, and then when there's one-on-ones, it's just a 50-50. They lose that more times than not, benefits the other team, and you've seen what's happened in the last 2 weeks. I think also the fact that our backline, although we did concede 63 inside 50s to Geelong, our backline still held strong. It was just the midfield. And again, this is going to be a very, very important part of the game. And Collingwood's midfield is exceptional. We know that. I think Rowe Marshall and Darcy Cameron that's going to be a mouth-watering matchup for me. And then what do we do with Nick Dacos? Because last week what did he have? He's averaging 35. He kicked a goal. He's obviously their star player. And he just doesn't miss a target. So what do we do with him? Do we tag him? Do we just go head-to-head with him? I mean, do you just put someone like a Crouch on him? I don't know if Crouch could keep up with him. I'd love to just start Owens in the guts and put him on Dacos and just smash him. Like, set the tone. Dacos might be a bit more nimble and a bit quicker, but if it's a one-on-one and the ball's there for the taking, that's where Owens can go to work and hurt him. Hurt him fairly, but hurt him and set the tone for the rest of the game. I think we need to get in their face. We need to show them that we're not just going to let them go to 2-1. That's what they're expecting. A lot of their supporters think, okay, we've lost the first two, but Saints, that's a win. It's not a foregone conclusion. I think we need to go into this game with a really mean approach. And we've got the players to do it now. Rowan Marshall's physical beast. Mitch Owens is Jack Steele's. He had a bit of the angry pills last week, which was great to see. Even Max King, Wilkie, Battle, Stocker if he plays. We've got some players that can really throw their weight around, and I don't think Collingwood will like that if we do it. I also think that the width of the GMHBA, the lack of width versus the MCG, it just didn't work for us. And I think players, that's why we saw Brad Hill. He had a really quiet game last week. 12 disposals, not his best. Liam Henry did really well, but I think he'll do even better on the G. I think the same goes for Darcy Wilson. Ross Lyon mentioned it in his press conference. I think Darcy Wilson might enjoy the extra, 10, 15 metres of width on the MCG compared to GMHBA. I think as a team overall, we just weren't able to transition the way we wanted, which was go wide and then bring it inboard. You pretty much have to just go straight, up the guts the whole game against the Cats. And I think the way that they kind of crowded the midfield, it just didn't allow us to get that space. We couldn't hit the targets. It was a high-pressure game, and it just didn't come off. It came off maybe one or two occasions, and guess what? We scored. So if we can do that more so on the wider range of the G, spread the ground, maybe create more of those one-on-ones like Sydney and the Giants have done, I think then we can really get at them. And their backline's been heavily critiqued in the last week. Darcy Moore's not been at his best. I think they're really, really missing Murphy. I think we can take advantage of this. Max King, although he kicked 2 goals 4 last week, I still feel like he could be a major factor in this game. And then you've got Sharman and Membry, who just had a great return. He kicked his 3 goals and was a really valuable player for us. I think I'd just like to see Kingy almost stay a bit deeper in this game and have Membry and Sharman be the ones pushing up to the wing. I just felt like against Geelong, King pushed up a lot, which was exciting when he got the ball and he turned and he showed a bit of pace and we did score out of it. But I want him to be that last kick into the 50. I don't want it to be on the head of Higgins because that's what happens. King pushes up, Higgins is deep. It's the wrong way around. I want King deep and then Higgins or whoever small's there ready to rove if the ball hits the deck from that contest. So I think that we've got the tools, Saners, to really hurt Collingwood. It's a matter of execution and taking advantage of maybe a few faults that Collingwood have shown over the last 2 weeks. But obviously, they're an outstanding team. They are the reigning premiers. They won the flag 6 months ago. So we know that eventually things will click for them. But they'll only click if we just sit back and let it happen. We need to get in their face. We need to play our game, play it quick. And to be honest, I think Ross Lyons had the perfect homework over the last 2 weeks to prepare for Collingwood. Sit back and you watch the Giants take them apart. You watch Sydney do it on the same ground we're going to be playing them at. I mean, Ross Lyon has no doubt watched those games multiple times, and no doubt we've got something very similar prepped to take on the reigning premiers. I think it's going to be a ripper of a game. Obviously, it's Spud's game. We want to get as many Saners there as we can. It is our home game, so if you can get to the game, you haven't got tickets, there are still tickets available. Check them out on Ticketmaster, and yeah, hopefully we can get the win in a monumental game. That would be an amazing start to the season. We could have beaten Geelong, but I think there was still a lot to like there. And I think if we take what we did against Geelong in terms of the fight, the pressure, the attitude, and the desire to go forward and win the game, maybe refine it with a little bit more execution. And I think having a Jack Sinclair in the team helps that tremendously. Then we're an absolute big chance of causing a bit of an upset. So I'll wrap it up there, Saners. Thank you very much for watching. Please comment your thoughts below. How are you feeling about this week? Are you optimistic? Are you nervous? Are you just pumped and looking forward to taking on one of the best teams in the comp who are under pressure and looking for a rebound? So Put your comments in. I'll respond to them when I can. Please like the video and obviously subscribe. We have hit over 10,000, but the next goal is 15. So let's try and hit that in the next couple of months. It'd be amazing. So until next time, Saints, take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. And as always, go you mighty Saints. See you guys.